Welcome back, everyone, to the Daily Dollar podcast. Art still has his wine, as he did yesterday.
Every episode we got the wine. We always, all right, we got to have a meeting after this. Because I'll be talking in terms of like what the real day is, and you said I had the wine yesterday.
Well,
like
this is a daily podcast.
So are we going to be transparent or are we going to lie?
No, we're not going to lie.
Well, you just lied. You said yesterday I had the wine 5 minutes ago. You said yesterday.
Homeboy likes to talk over me. We shoot these podcasts in batches because it's the only way that makes sense for our time. So, yes, it's still Friday night for us. You guys are getting this, I don't know when.
You see how she talks around in circles? Are we lying or not?
No, we wouldn't lie.
Live on the air meeting. Are we lying on every episode or are we going to be truthful?
We are not lying, but we're going to talk in terms that make sense.
For the listener.
Yes.
So we're lying to make them feel better.
Absolutely not. And it's a minute in, and we're wasting time on this precious episode.
Let's get to it then.
So last episode, less than 5 minutes ago, we talked about...
Yesterday.
We talked about leverage, and I asked Art for a quick summary and definition, and it ended up being the whole episode.
Yo!
Go figure, Mr. Long-Winded. So right now, I want to talk about who has the most leverage in real estate. That's where that episode was supposed to go, but that's where this episode is going to go. So we talk about...
Why don't you lie when it comes to talking down on me?
I'm not talking down on you.
You want to lie about the days, but you're not ready to lie about... Like, why wouldn't you just say that it was a part one,
I don't know.
part two
I think
episode?
You've been calling me out on this podcast. That's the first time I ever called you out. So
that is not. You called me long-winded on the second episode.
Well, you called yourself long-winded.
I did not. Let's go.
It was
whatever.
A 20
Let's go. You're wasting
episode.
time. We're 2 minutes in.
Oh, I hear it. Now I'm wasting time. All right. So this is an exercise. Who has the most leverage in real estate? And I'll give you some options.
Okay. So it's multiple choice.
Yes.
All right, bring it.
We're going to talk about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, right?
Okay.
So A, the person...
Art has the most leverage. Continue, sorry.
A, cash person. B...
The person with cash.
Yes. B, credit person.
The person that brings credit to the table. You're talking about in a private syndication.
Yes.
We got to give them
we're
context.
We're talking about a syndication deal.
So in a real estate deal, you got to explain to what the hell you're talking about.
Right,
in a real estate deal,
you
you can bring multiple people to the table for the sake of buying a property because you might not have everything yourself. So you can partner with different people who bring different attributes to the table. So that's what we're discussing today. Of all these different attributes one can bring to the table, who holds the most leverage? Continue.
That's where your leverage is, right there. The breakdown for
That's my podcast
children.
Leverage.
Yeah,
If you guys
he's very good at breaking things down.
Listen to the last episode.
Like he could have wrote those for dummies books.
Yeah, for sure. And that was off the top of the head too.
Yeah.
We call that a freestyle in rap culture.
In the rap game. Anyways, okay, so A, who has the most leverage?
I used to podcast for times like this.
A, cash. B, credit person. C, the person who gets the property. D, the person who has the contacts, the connections, the network, right? Or what are we on? E, the person who has the knowledge.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is this multiple choice or are we ranking them top to bottom?
Let's rank them.
All right.
That seems a little more fun.
Number one would obviously be the person who has the property or brought the property to the table.
Ooh, not what I thought.
If the person who brought the property to the table is, like, what do you mean by brought the property? You got to expound. Is that a realtor?
Like our friend who, Kevin Tarka, who went for a run and found a property and brought it to the table.
Then no, that's not number one. So that's what I mean.
Anyone can bring a property to the table. It doesn't have to be somebody who's skilled in finding properties. So this is just somebody who, to this deal, brought the property to the table. Spoke to the seller, we'll say.
Okay, I got you.
Okay.
So the answer, so that person would be bottom of the totem pole.
So they went from 1 to 5.
Yeah, because you clarified. So like if that person had what the real number one answer, which is whoever has the most real estate knowledge.
So like a wholesaler, essentially.
Yeah, a wholesaler. Anybody can wholesale. Not everyone can syndicate a deal. Anyone can go, not anyone, but most people can go get a real estate license and find investors' properties, but that doesn't mean they can syndicate a deal. In order to syndicate a deal like we do, you need that knowledge. So knowledge is hands down number one in my opinion.
That's what I thought.
Well, shoot, you ain't clarified, dog.
I think I did. So, who's up next? Number two.
Number two is certainly.
I I'm taking notes, by the way.
You're taking notes. Give me my options that are left.
So we have cash, credit, property, and contacts,
and
aka
contacts.
connections. Yeah. So this
That
would
person's
typically
number two
be
all day.
that like might be like a, I don't know, contractor maybe,
Yeah.
or even the person who
I'd say
knows
that
someone.
person's number two.
Okay.
I'd say certainly contacts and networking. And I think you guys are understanding this exercise by now. Credit and cash ain't as powerful as you think it is, but I would certainly say that credit is number three.
Okay.
And the reason why I put credit at number three is because we just talked about leverage last episode. We read the definition of what leverage means in financial terms, and it literally means like your cash versus your debt. So you can leverage, like on our flips, we use hard money lenders who give us 90% of the money if we put 10% down. That means you can leverage $100,000 to purchase a $1 million property. So that really shows you the power of credit. So if you bring credit to the table, you certainly have more leverage than the cash person. The reason being, specifically cash versus credit, is if you are a cash person, that means you're physically investing. Let's say you're putting up to 10% and we're buying $1 million property. So you put up 100K. You're going to get a return on that money, but you have to spend 100 to get, let's say, 110 or 120 back.
Right.
If you're a credit person bringing credit to the table, you're bringing no money to the table. You're literally bringing your social security number and a signature, which is solid. You can turn that social security number or signature into equity in that deal, actual cash, right? Like we've literally paid somebody $5,000 to use their credit. We've also paid people 25% of a deal to use their credit.
And so they're putting up their financial reputation. So that's pretty strong.
Not really, because they can always use someone else's. But yes.
Yeah, they could.
Right.
I'm saying though, like a credit partner, that is to a lot of people, that's a lot.
Yeah,
we
but
know
that
credit
ain't really
can
the
be
leverage. It's 7.8 billion people in the world. So it's not the fact that you're risking your credit. It's the fact that you are leveraging your credit to help us do a deal. You know what I'm saying? It's not really in the risk. It's like same thing with the cat. Like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but it doesn't really apply here. What I'm saying is, so anyway, let me continue on my list, right? So you got you got
one.
You got knowledge. One, you got the knowledge person.
Okay.
Two, you got the networking person who really knows where to even find these people, the credit people, the cash people, the contractor, the appraiser, the inspector, the lender.
Yep.
That person's important. That's why I have the number two. I have credit at number three, cash at number four. The reason why I have cash at number four, because cash can come in many forms. I can swipe a credit card for cash. I don't even need a person, right? I can find another lender who does bridge loans, aka who will give me the down payment so that's 100% financed, and they'll put a second lien on the house. I can find a person with cash. I can find 5 people with a little bit of cash to add them all together and do a lot of bit of cash.
That's why I think they'd be last.
You have cash last. What's last? The property person?
Yeah, that's
well,
what
the property person, as you described them, I certainly have them last.
I described them almost like a wholesaler.
No, because a person going for a jog and finding a dilapidated property isn't a wholesaler. A wholesaler takes talent. So that's what I'm saying. And then also a realtor.
I was more so saying it could be that person. Not necessarily that's who that person is in the situation.
I'm saying
but
this. Everybody that's listening to this and us on here, we know what you have to do to earn cash.
Yeah.
You have to work, you have to something, but we know that it ain't easy or else we all would be rich. To find a property, you literally can be walking down the street.
Right.
Literally. You also can literally just pay $400 and get a real estate license.
So what if, I'm sorry. Does it change if I change the property person to not just like our friend who runs down the street sees it and tells us about it, to the person who has it under contract?
Under contract is the answer I was looking for.
Where does it put the property?
That's what. So the property thing can move up to number one, like I said, if you know how to syndicate. That's our secret sauce.
But that would be the knowledge. That's where I have knowledge.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. That the knowledge is okay. So properties would go to number 2 then.
Okay.
Because if you are a realtor and you know how to find the properties, but you know how to leverage your way into the deal too, like you make a commission on our deals, and you're part owner of the company.
Right.
You know, I make a wholesale fee on our deals, and I put everything together without putting any of my own money or cash, all because we know how to find the property. So knowledge will be first because you got to know how to find it. Anyway, you guys are getting the gist, right? So you got number 1 at knowledge, number 2, contacts and networking, number 3, credit, number 4, cash, number 5, property. But if you're a skilled property finder, then that bumps you all the way up to number 2.
So that would have knowledge, property, contacts, credit, then cash.
Cash would be dead last in investing, which I think was your
I think that was my point. Yeah,
Yeah, because everybody who
I
listens
know.
to this thinks like, I need cash to do real estate.
Yeah.
And you do, but it's not like it's very easy to get cash. And that common misconception is why, honestly, a lot of our best investors are the ones who understand that cash is just a tool to make more cash. It's not the leverage to own the deal. It's not the leverage to be this partner.
Yeah, they just put their
I'm
cash
the ultimate
in.
flipper because I have all this cash. 'Cause it's like, yo,
And it grows.
if you don't know anything, your money isn't worth anything.
Right.
We have investors who know nothing and want to learn from us, but think because they bring the most money to the table that they can get the most equity in deals or get the best deals.
Right.
Doesn't make sense. If you're going to give me $100,000 and give me a headache the whole deal because you want to be this ultimate partner and don't know how to just shut up and let your money work, but 3 or 4 people want to bring $25,000 each to make up for that 100, but shut the hell up and just receive a return or a split of the profits and not be a headache, I'm going with the 4 people doing $25,000 all day because I was able to help 4 people instead of 1, and I didn't have to like answer to anyone or deal with someone who thought they were all that or their shit don't stink. I don't know if this is an explicit podcast, but the poop don't stink because they brought a lot of cash to the table. Especially if you're in this real estate game, you start learning really quickly that $100,000, even $200,000 cash is nothing. It's not a lot of cash at all.
Right.
When you're dealing with the large numbers in real estate and learning leverage, understanding that banks are going to give 90%, 80%, 75%, 85%. They're going to give majority of the money.
Yeah.
We just got to bring a little bit. So if you know I got this bank that's going to give me 90%, you don't have any leverage over your little 10%. There's no leverage there. I can get that 10% from anyone because in our case, there's 2 people sitting in front of the camera right now who are number 1, knowledge. Number 2, we find the properties. We don't go to any, no. When the last time somebody else bought us a property? Well, I guess we've had 2 properties where someone else has bought it, but.
Yeah, people mention it to us because now we've branded ourselves to be those
Exactly,
people.
but we know how to find properties to where.
But that's part of it, you know. They're not bringing it to anyone else; they're bringing it to us.
That's
so
a fact.
That's part of property.
Contacts and networking we have here, and we really leverage social media heavily. But my
Right.
youth basketball organization has bought like 5 investors, so
Major, yeah.
a lot of people use the place of worship, church, mosque, synagogue, whatever.
Yeah.
Great networking is huge, and then credit. We've been able to build our credit. So that's that. We
Right.
signed on the loans. In the beginning, we were using a credit partner because both of our credit was in repair and we didn't want to jeopardize that. But now we realize that credit isn't even like a huge thing because once you have as many deals in your belt as we have, they're not even looking at your credit score. They just see, okay, you've done 15 properties. Yeah, sure, here's the money.
Yep.
Which is huge. So that's why credit is at number 4. Number
Ooh,
5.
experience. I could have put that person on here, but
Experience and knowledge to
Kinda
me
go
is the
together,
same thing.
yeah.
Yeah, like that's the whole point of this episode is like, yo, knowledge and experience. Like, go
Yeah.
get it.
yeah,
You can't get one without the other.
right.
You
Well, that
know?
was fun. That was a fun little exercise.
Yeah, that was cool. I hope this might be my favorite episode.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope this kind of wakes people up so they stop climbing in our DMs like, yo, I got 50K cash, I want in. Like, all right, bro, you and everyone else. Like, whatever. Anyway, what's your name?
Kate McCready.
You
At the Kate McCready on
Oh,
Instagram.
yeah, sure. What's mine? At Art Morrison III. It's getting late. The wine is kicking in. No, guys, I'm Art Morrison III here.
I'm Kate McCready.
And you are listening or watching the Daily Dollar by United Home Relief. Visit unitedhomerelief.com for more episodes. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. And if you visit unitedhomerelief.com, you can sign up for our course where we teach more strategies like this, in-depth strategies, so that you too can become an expert in real estate and start tapping into this real estate bag.
And you can have that knowledge. That's number 1 on the leverage
Number
scale.
1, leverage your way into more real estate deals by tapping into the knowledge. UnitedHomeLeaf.com, the real estate roadmap. Art Morrison III here.
Kate McCready here.
And I'll catch you guys in the next episode.
See ya.
Peace.